to do.
I think a lot of us when we were younger have the shared experience of waking up early to watch Saturday morning cartoons on 4Kids TV, and I think for many of us also this was our first exposure to anime. I have very fond memories of shows like One Piece, Sonic X, and of course YuGiOh, and I'd be really upset if my mom didn't wake me up on time. It's like the one thing I look forward to as a kid. At the time, I didn't know much about YuGiOh other than it was a card game and a TV show. I remember going over to my cousin's house and we'd play with his YuGiOh cards. Did we read the cards or know what their effects did? No. Did we make stuff up as we went? Yeah. And I enjoyed every second of it. But as it turns out, we weren't too far off from what the show was like. It seemed like Yugi just made stuff up as he went too. Obviously, as a kid, I didn't really care much about how accurate the card game was in the show. I just thought it was cool. But now that I'm older, I want to bitch and complain about these things and the ridiculousness in the show. Not that it matters, it's just kind of fun to talk about. Like, let's talk about how, serious these duels are, man. This is one of those anime where a single thing determines everything. Like, you know how in Pokemon they got Pokemon battles, in Food Wars they have cooking battles, and in YuGiOh it's card battles or duels, whatever you want to call them. I'm convinced their world leaders send their men to war with some bullshit Exodia or Kastira decks. Look at the first few episodes. Yugi's grandpa gets sent to the ER clinging to life because he got his ass handed to him by Seto Kaiba. You could argue, well, he's an old man, maybe the scary hologram projectors were just too much for his heart. But then how do you explain Kaiba threatening to jump off a castle because he didn't want to lose a duel to Yugi, or technically the Pharaoh, whatever you want to, he's a cheating son of a bitch, so who cares? And the worst part is that the Pharaoh actually considered letting Kaiba jump if it meant winning. Alright, pause for a second, pause. Alright, I wanted to give a quick side note. You could argue that Kaiba was in the right, alright? All he wanted to do was help his brother, who was being held captive by Pegasus on a private island. Huh. But regardless, I feel like there could have been a lot of other ways to solve that problem. I don't think he had to resort to that. But I guess he felt like that was like the only way he could have done it. Force Yugi's hand or whatever. Or I guess the Pharaoh. But I mean, my point still stands, man. The Pharaoh was still like on his knees. He was about to cry because he let Kaiba win, and he was like willing to let him die if it meant winning. But you know, it is what it is. Like, imagine if I can threaten to jump in Master Duel. How many more wins would I get? What rank would I be? Yeah, you know what? Probably not that much higher. You know, Master Duel players are really mean. This show is so stupidly funny. I'm so happy I grew up with it. YuGiOh is one of those shows where I prefer the dub for nostalgia reasons. It gets a pass on how good it is because it's from my childhood, but man, I didn't find out so much later that 4Kids actually censored a ton of stuff from the original show. Like, what? And it's actually a lot more violent, especially in the manga. And as much shit as 4Kids gets, love them or hate them, they were a gateway for me into anime and probably for a lot of other people too. And they're the reason why some of the shows that I know are as iconic as they are. I mean, I can't imagine Joey without his accent, or the silly dialogue about the power of friendship. I mean, all that is just iconic in its own. All in all, I love YuGiOh. It's ridiculous, dramatic, and nostalgic, all the best ways. But yeah, thank you for listening to this rant, dude. I don't know what I was on, but like I said, just want to talk about. I think I've come up with a schedule for these YouTube videos. I think I'm gonna upload monthly, but one video is going to be a long video, one's going to be a short video like this, like a rant. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching, subscribe.